Hello and welcome back to our VCF 5.2 Technical Deep Dive series. Episode 10 is on the line today. And this time not with Reinhard, this time not with Patrick, this time with a new guy, Alain, aka Aria Greenitz. Hello, Alain, how are you?
Hi, Chloe. I'm fine, and I'm especially pleased that you call me a new guy.
Yeah, I think most of the audience will know you because how long are you now working with the whole Aria product?
Since 2012.
Yeah, so Ella is sleeping in the whole Aria suite. I guess.
I sometimes dream about it, yes, but
Yeah, which
let's.
is maybe not the best sign. Ella, today we will not really do an hands-on. Today we will do more or less a talk about from what I would call an important or an interesting topic. Let's call it an
Mhm.
interesting one. I already pulled up the screen
Yeah.
sharing, and when I log into my Aria Suite Lifecycle Manager and start with creating a new environment, the first question I get is, would you like to install the Identity Manager? For those who are not really familiar with the name Identity Manager is the originating name of what we know nowadays as Workspace One Access, or should we do not install an Identity Manager? And the reason why I decided, or why we decided to have a dedicated episode about this topic is, on one hand, Workspace One Access always has been part of the end user computing business unit by VMware,
Hmm.
which has now been sold off. So it is now a new company which is called Omnissa. So on one hand, we have the discussion, why should or when is it really necessary to deploy Workspace ONE Access? And on the other hand, when is it maybe not necessary, or is it really is there really a need for Workspace ONE Access? And to be honest, my personal opinion is, as long as I, as a customer, don't utilize what we know as Aria automation, or what is now called automation for VMware Cloud Foundation. There, from my personal opinion, there is no need for Workspace ONE Access. What's your thought about it, Ella?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Uh, and he didn't say that I had to say that. It's my honest opinion because we have to keep in mind that already VIDM, as it used to be called, was an addition to these products because when we launched operations, you had authentication sources, which was a big thing in operations at that time because you could tie in your Active Directory, your LDAP, even Open LDAP. I remember I even did a demo with my Mac with Mac OS X to authenticate. So it was already an addition, and now they give you the possibility to go away from it again.
Mhm.
Operation has many authentication standards. Ops for logs is a bit more difficult, and Ops for networks is AD, also uh, single sign-on, which yeah, I still call it VIDM. So, and let's face it, most or a lot of the customers I know still use in all these products the local users.
Local users, yeah, yeah. That's also one thing, and the only advantage. Let's
Mm,
forget about automation for a couple of seconds. The only advantage I get currently when I go with Workspace ONE Access, or AK Identity Management, or Identity Manager in the old names, is, as you mentioned already, the capability of providing single sign-on. But
yes.
as you mentioned before, I have Active Directory, LDAP connectivity from Operations Manager, from
And,
Log,
and SAML?
and Operations Manager already has SAML, but there is what I'm aware currently, there is not really a SAML integration available currently in Log Inside, or
Uh,
Operations for Log.
I think not. The Ops for logs was always the problem child. I remember quite a few versions ago that you had only Active Directory,
Mm-hmm.
and even then there were problems because I once encountered the fact that it had problems with an Active Directory with connected domains in a forest.
In the forest, yeah.
Then you had to go into the secret advanced configuration screen, which exists in your GUI, and you won't find it, but I can show it in the next episode, and then you can tune some AD parameters. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So ops for logs is more work, but as we have said, there might be a solution for that because product ops for logs is going to be integrated completely in operations in VCF9.
In VCF9, yeah, that's also one thing we should talk or we should mention, especially for those customers and also service providers who are now starting with VCF. uh, do not put too much effort on the whole. Now, let's rephrase it. You should put effort in the whole Aria suite. You should really now, because now you have it. So you should put in a lot of effort in the whole Aria suite, but you should not put in that much effort in the whole authentication story. Let's phrase it this way. So currently, what I would recommend to customers, okay, let's go with operations manager. Let's go with operations for log. Let's go with network if those three products are fitting. But let's just do a basic LDAP authentication. Maybe for operations manager already we can do SAML against my Workspace One, against my Okta, Ping, whatever my SAML provider is. And especially, and this is also from why the idea of having a dedicated episode talking about Workspace One Access and VCF, which also brings me to the point, and we will quickly have a look into it. When we currently have a look to authentication sources in our VCF environment. Okay.
There you go.
Good.
While you log in again, I can also mention, like you said, a simple installation with LDAP, and keep in mind that already all the products work together, and the aim is for you to use operations as the operations console, because with the integrations you can get data from ops for logs in operations and ops for networks.
And yeah, and we have done this already in one of the former episodes that we have provided single sign-on via Entra ID. And as you can see, also here, I have Microsoft Active Directory Federation Services, I have Okta, I have Entra, and there is no Workspace One access there. So from my personal opinion, or my personal opinion on the whole story is, why should I use a second identity provider or a second identity management solution when I have already my Entra, my Okta, whatever, which is already compatible with VCF 5.2. And so my personal opinion or my personal feeling currently is, let's do it with Active Directory for those products where it is already possible. As soon if it comes to this, because this is a total different story as mentioned before, as soon if the customer says, hey, but I would like to utilize Aria automation or VCF automation in now the new product name is, yeah, okay, then you need to go with Workspace One Access, because here Workspace One Access is a mandatory part of the whole Aria automation piece.
Yeah, but we're techies, and as we say, keep it simple. If you already have, like you said, an identity provider, why should you install an additional one only to authenticate to the Aria suite?
Yeah. And at the end,
if you have everything, like you said, with automation, and otherwise, please leave it out.
Yeah, at the end, we are really talking, just to be honest, I know it is maybe sounds wrong, but at the end, it is just the authentication against my Aria suite. It is not the authentication against my vCenter, my SDC manager, whatever it is, still only the authentication against Aria automation, Aria operations for log, Aria operations, and Aria for network. So these are those 4 products which are currently could relay on Workspace One Access. The only product which is really heavily laying on is Aria automation, because and we have talked about this before, Alain, since version 8.6 of the Aria Lifecycle Manager. Because before the identity manager or the Workspace One Access was mandatory, and since 8.6, would say it is not mandatory anymore, because as we have seen before, I can now create a new environment and just pull over the slider and say, hey, I would like to go with automation,
Identity provider.
with identity provider, or I say, no, I would like to create a new environment without having the identity management. And then I just can create my environment, select the products I would like to install, and we are ready to go.
Yeah. And the question is also how automation is going to evolve in VCF 9. For if they're going to stick with the single sign-on that they have now, or if that is going to change too.
Yes, also for that, because
This product.
yeah, you already mentioned one interesting topic. So, and I think you are already 100% aware of that story, that log inside or other operations for log, and the operations manager will become a single product solution.
Yes, because operation is really becoming the management pane, and then pane with ANE, not AIN, for your VCF environment. So you'll have the automation side and you'll have the operation side, and Ops for Logs is going to disappear as a separate product and is going to be integrated in operations. Which I think is not so difficult to do, because the collectors are already similar. You can already, with the integration, view your data from logs in operations without going.
Yeah.
Totally sure that is not iframes, but I don't think so. So if you don't believe me, you have maybe already seen the announcements that in VCF 9, your license management will be done in operations. I'm sorry to say it so bluntly, but even those who don't use operations yet and who don't want to will have to, because you want to manage your licenses.
Yeah, especially the whole license management is all something which is really, really interesting in VCF, especially in VCF 9, because I don't think, and also yesterday, VCF 5.2.1 has been released. If you currently have a look into the release notes, they are still evolving, but currently it looks from my perspective, VCF 5.2 will be just only maintained. There will still come some new features until end of the year, to be honest, or until, to be really honest, until next year. I have heard something about February. So with the new fiscal year, we will also of Broadcom, we will also get VCF 9. But so let's stick with it. This year we will still stay on VCF 5, but still the whole license management will already be moving out to operations. The integrations will become more and more deeper integrated, and also for those who are not aware or maybe haven't heard it right now until now, the name Aria is already gone. So all of the products are now called. Is it called Cloud Foundation Operations? No, it is called Operations for VMware Cloud Foundation.
I'm not sure. I hear people and I see presentations where they just talk about VCF operations.
VCF operations, yeah, okay. Then it may be called VCF operations, VCF automation, and VCF network inside. So there we come back to the old name. because what we know as nowadays Aria operations for network still will stay currently. So Aria operations for network is also part of the VMware Cloud Foundation licensing. And this is also something because we always have, especially at the beginning, we always mentioned this will be a technical video series. We will stay on the technical video series. But one thing I would really like to mention, because I know also that is something which is a little bit of bothering. Guys, please be aware with the VCF licenses, we are really talking about the whole enterprise, what we know from the good old days as the whole enterprise license model. So we get we get Aria operations or VCF operations enterprise. We get network insight enterprise. We get realize automation or VCF automation enterprise. So we always get the full blown stack. And especially when it comes to operations manager, what I would like also to mention here, you get the whole true visibility suite, which was a buttload of money in the past. So we really need to grab the big coins to get the true visibility suite, and it is now for free. It is fully for free.
And you connect to 5 Cisco switches or 10, doesn't make a difference because there's no licensing anymore for external
systems. Yeah. So this is something where I, especially you mentioned it already, Alain, for those who now starting with VCF or who is now deeper look into VCF. Also, on one hand, yes, please focus still on VCF because there is still a lot of work to do. But the main focus, my personal opinion, for those who have already a good understanding of how vSphere is working, the main focus now clearly should be the whole Aria suite and mainly operations, because at the end, Aria automation for log, it is a cool product, but at the end, it is a syslog collector with a graphical user interface.
Yeah,
my opinion.
And you configure the integrations, ops for logs to operations, ops for networks to operation, and you can see all your data already today from one console. And you see what you mentioned already in action. Not a lot of people realize it, but the product which was called Skyline for support doesn't exist anymore. And it's replaced, or will soon not exist anymore, and it's being replaced by the diagnostics dashboard in operations. A whole new dashboard infrastructure.
Which is really interesting because if they really get rid of Skyline Alert, does this mean that my Skyline my Skyline Health in my vCenter is also not working anymore? Then?
Good question. I think so.
Okay.
We need to check.
Yeah, we need to check. But it is still an interesting point because when Skyline also gets or will disappear and becomes integrated into ops management or into VCF for operations, then we have the whole visibility suite or the whole operation suite now in our data center again.
And it already has tremendous advantages. Like today already, you can use the new certificate management in there. So hey, presto, for all your VCF products, I'm sure we're going to configure that with Reinhard. You get follow-up and alerts for your certificates expired and so on and so on.
Yeah, which is also interesting because on one hand, I have the monitoring or the alarming on operation side, and still from the STC manager, I can still configure everything and replace the certificates. And there has now already, since we are recording the series on 10th of October, so as yesterday has been released VCF 5.2.1, there has been already the first simplifications, or one of the simplifications I'm aware of, or what I have read already, is that now password management and certificate management is a single in a single pane of glass, so that you have now your password and certificates in the same on the same level, and not going always into the workload domain and do there the certificate change and go back and do there the password rotation. So this is now already a single UI, which brings us really to the point that the whole movement of VCF now is really starting. Will become really, really interesting with the release of version 9. Talking about version 9 already a little bit, because since we have now really grabbed out one episode and say, hey, this time we will not do a technical deep dive, or we have done a technical deep dive, to be honest, but just to clarification things. Talking about VCF 9, what's your opinion, or what's your thoughts about having products more and more becoming integrated? So what have you seen already so far, or what would you like to mention already?
Yeah, some of the things we mentioned already, like Ops for Logs is going to be integrated. Skyline, you already see it. I see. I think it's a good thing, because you see already, like with the Skyline thing, that they're rethinking also the interfacing,
Mm-hmm.
making them simpler, making other things simpler, which maybe you don't immediately think about, but they have deactivated tens of alerts in operations,
Mm-hmm.
which people did not use or find superfluous, and then deactivated in policies, and have been replaced by a few dashboards. Like there is now really a recommendation from Broadcom. I don't remember where I saw it, but I saw it. Like there are, when you use operations for the management of your VCF environment, this is what you should do. You should look at the dashboard heavy hitters, and you should look at the dashboard which is called vSphere and something else. Of course, escapes me at the moment, but they really give more direction. Like this is how you should do it. So
Mm-hmm.
I think my feeling is, there's lots of discussions about it, of course, but my feeling is that we are really going towards a simplified, more appliance-oriented world. Not appliance than in the OVA sense, but in
Mm-hmm.
general,
General, yeah.
managed. Yeah.
Yeah, but also this, guys, this is just my personal assumption. I would say what I can already clearly see, to be honest, in VCF 9, the whole Kubernetes world will more and more come into the whole appliance
Oh,
story.
yeah.
That
I thought about that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that we really see more and more microservices. Still to have them on one single appliance, but we will get more and more microservices, and this is how, from what I would say, the first full product integration will be done. Still, there will be the operations manager backend, whatever you call it, you name it, but the web front end will be part of the new SDC manager, whatever the name will be. Let's see what really the name, the final, because we are talking. I know the name is what I have heard so far already decided. It will be called VCF. What was the name? I forgot it. VCF Management Interface. Yeah, VCF Management Interface will be the new name, where I really have the whole part of what I know today from the SDC manager, but also when the whole operations part comes
Yeah,
in. But
that's
yeah, what my personal opinion in this is, I don't think this is really now already a full. Yeah, it is a full new web UI, to be honest. But in the backend, you still will have, let's call it the old systems. You will still have your operations manager. You will still have the SDC manager. You will have, but vCenter and so on is absolutely clear. But the management is already fully integrated. This is my opinion.
oh, that's interesting, because I didn't think about the new web UI. Yeah, that's very interesting.
Yeah, because
We should also mention, for some people, and this is not clear yet, the whole VCF 9 announcement brings a problem for people that want to stay on the individual Aria Suite components.
That's gone. That's absolutely gone. So this is now finally decided. If you would like to deploy the single product for as a VCF license customer, no, not possible anymore. So far, let's see because
But
I
also a customer, if you
yeah I guess there will be a VVF 9 will also be available sooner or later. But let's see what's coming up there because still some of the products will be available. Okay, then Alain, thanks for joining.
thanks for inviting me.
No problem, guys. Thank you for being part. Thanks for your comments. Thanks for your likes, feedbacks, whatever you call it, you name it. And we see you in the next episode where we will start with the deployment of our Aria suite or of our Cloud Foundation suite.
Yeah, I'll change my name by then.
Bye.